Welcome, everybody, to the Passive Income Lifestyle Series. I'm your host, Travis Watts. This is going to be a short series dedicated to you, the passive income investor. And we're going to be talking about mindset, strategies, tips, tricks, philosophies, lots of stories that I will share with you, my own and those of others, in terms of investing for passive income. We're going to talk a lot about multifamily apartments. We're going to talk a lot about cash flow. And we're just going to talk about the benefits of investing for passive income in the short series. So disclaimers that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you or anyone else what to do. So please seek licensed advice. This series is for educational and informational purposes only. So with that top of mind, today's topic, we're talking about the two words rich and wealthy and what the differences are, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there and there's a lot of opinions out there. And so what I'm sharing with you in this episode is simply my take on it, my point of view, my perspective. Agree or not, here's a great quote from the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius more than 2,000 years ago. Marcus says, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." So with that top of mind, let's kick it off by talking about rich. And to me, I think of the word rich in terms of active income. This is not about net worth. This is not about passive income. This is not about assets. There was a survey conducted by U.S. News and World Report earlier this year, and they define income levels in the United States as follows. Poor or near poor would be earning $32,000 gross income or less annually. And lower middle class would be $32,000 to $53,000. Middle class is $53,000 to $106,000. And upper middle class is $106,000 to $373,000. And then they define rich as $373,000 and up. So basically, if you're making roughly $375,000 a year in gross income, you're deemed to be rich, at least according to that data in that particular survey, which we'll use for a basis of this conversation. So the main takeaway is that it has to do with income, basically. And so I'm going to tell you why I've never strived as a goal to be rich in that particular category. So many rich individuals, as I'm sure you know, statistically speaking, end up going broke because it can be very hard to sustain a very high elevated level of income indefinitely for the rest of your life. So we take, for example, highly paid celebrities, highly paid professional athletes, lottery winners that have large windfalls or payouts over time. So statistically, lottery winners will lose everything. They will essentially go broke 70% of the time within 5 years of their particular windfall. Professional athletes, statistically speaking, will go broke 78% of the time within 3 years of their retirement. And with celebrities, they may not be cast in high-paying roles over and over and over again. Obviously, some do, but a lot of them will be cast in, say, a big Hollywood blockbuster and then won't be cast again for many, many years. And so it can be hard to sustain the same levels of income, or they may get on some kind of series or network, and then when that show is retired, they don't have a place to pivot for a number of years. So it's just usually, and I'm generalizing here, but it can be not a repeatable strategy for a lot of people to maintain the same levels of income long-term throughout a lifetime. Now let's talk about wealthy on the other hand, which is a lot different. Now to me, again, my opinion is that being wealthy has everything to do with having assets or investments and passive income. And the way I see it is if your assets or passive income pay for all of your lifestyle expenses, then you're deemed to be wealthy. And so this is not a magic formula or a magic number. It's going to be different for everybody. So let's take, for example, an individual who spends $70,000 per year on their lifestyle, and they're happy and content with living that kind of lifestyle. Well, if they had $1 million invested and their annualized yield on those investments averaged out to be about 10% a year, then that would give them effectively $100,000. So they would be, in my opinion, wealthy with $1 million. Now, I have a friend that lives a very humble and down to earth and simplistic life that he's super happy with. He retired in his 30s with only $750,000 invested. And for him, that was enough. And I would consider him to be wealthy in more ways than one. I've also spoken to investors who have told me and made the claim they need hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to maintain their particular lifestyle. And according to them, they can't cut the budget at all. That's how much they need. So for them, that may require millions and millions of dollars invested to maintain their lifestyle. So that's why the numbers are different. And the takeaway there is you've got folks that could be deemed wealthy with under $1 million and folks that may need many millions of dollars. So there's no magic formula or number. It all depends on you. Now, if you are a passive income investor yourself, I encourage you to ask yourself 3 questions if you haven't already. The first is, how much passive income would be enough to sustain either your current lifestyle now or your optimal lifestyle that you're looking to move towards? Number 2, what's a realistic yield that you might expect on an annualized basis for your investments? Whether you do real estate or dividend stocks or anything else, what would be a realistic percentage to put to that? And the last question is then how much capital would be required to invest at that particular yield in order to net you the amount of passive income needed to sustain your lifestyle? Now, if we compare and contrast this strategy, this idea that we're talking about, investing for passive income with the traditional American path of working actively until we're in our 60s or 70s, saving money in traditional IRAs and 401ks, and then one day hopefully retiring and hoping that we don't outlive our money source as we sell off our assets and we draw down on our net worth. This is a whole lot different. A lot of traditional retirement vehicles, like those mentioned, a traditional IRA and traditional 401k, are designed for individuals to contribute in their highest earning years when they're ideally in a high tax bracket and they're going to get a tax deduction for contributing to those accounts. And then the idea is that when you retire, you're going to have less income, therefore be in a lower tax bracket and pay less in tax. But I ask you this question: who wants to live on less and less income as the years go by? Wouldn't the goal be a little more exciting if it was your income goes up indefinitely? So that's a good question. So I'll leave you with that to think about here for the week. I truly appreciate you being here and tuning into our new series here. I'm Travis Watts. If you ever have questions, want to take a deeper dive, want to chat about passive income investing or multifamily apartments, reach out to Travis at ashcroftcapital.com. I'd love to be a resource and a mentor for you or anyone you think could find some value. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode.